The one and only reason why people fail miserably is because they're lazy. There's two types of people. There is hardworking people and there's lazy people. The lazy people are the people that you find in regular jobs. They're usually miserable. They hate their lives. They trying to cope because again, they're lazy to find a solution to their problems. And the other category of people is people who are hardworking. And these are the people who you can kind of notice this since they're really young. This is why a lot of people, when they're younger, they get praised because they're really hardworking. And you get like the funnel vision and you kind of get to see this little kid's future. You could hear sometimes people say, yeah, this kid is probably going to end up being a doctor or an engineer. No, not because this person has some crazy traits or this person is gifted, but because since they're really young aged, the kid gets either to be lazy or not lazy, and this is kind of comes from the way this kid was programmed. And the non-lazy people or the hardworking people are the people who you find in higher income communities, people who are constantly working towards their goals. And I'll tell you why. Number one, laziness can ruin you. So actually, this is something that I experienced personally at some point in my life, and I learned from it. From my upbringing, I grew up as a very non-lazy person. My parents always made me do things that are more difficult. I was always super disciplined. And again, it's just the way how my parents raised me. Even though we kind of, I came from a pretty well-off family, I was always raised to never wait for something to come to me and always work for it. I was never just given money just like that. I was never a kid that was spoiled. In fact, we were raised in a very normal household. And this is kind of the thing that shapes me as a person, is that my upbringing was very normal and I was taught to work for what I wanted. On the other hand, a lot of other kids who were also classmates or whatever, a lot of them had things given to them, and you can kind of see this in their behavior later in life. They're always relying on their parents, or you could say they're not very smart, making smart moves, like financial moves. They would spend all their money and then call their parents and be like, hey, I spent all my money, what should I do now? So they're always kind of like reliant on their parents. So the way how laziness did affect me, I would say a few years back during sophomore year, I had everything going on pretty good for me. Usually I'm a very hard worker, so I don't let things fall on the last minute. But once you start letting that laziness seep through in your life, it's like an epidemic. So once you start, it's really hard to stop. So let's take from a simple example. You're lazy to get a cup of water, and then bam, you're going to be lazy the next day to get the cup of water, and slowly your health is deteriorating because you're dehydrated or your water intake is not up to par, and then this slowly starts seeping through other aspects in your life. Like doing laundry, you're lazy to do laundry today, you leave it until tomorrow, then you don't have time tomorrow. So you go wear dirty clothes, your mental health is bad because you're in dirty clothes, then because you're nasty, you don't want to go out and socialize, and it slowly starts ruining your life. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this. I think it's a pretty human thing, but what I'm trying to say is, if you want to be successful, you have to learn how to fight these urges of laziness. Another issue I had was overthinking and under-executing. A lot of times when I ended up being depressed, I actually tried to think about what was the origin of this depression, and it always ends up being overthinking. Overthinking is also like cancer. It's super hard to avoid. But once you start overthinking, that's when you start becoming lazy, because I feel like overthinking and laziness goes hand in hand. Overthinking does lead you to taking no action, On the other hand, if you don't think, you automatically execute the action. And the best scenario from both of these cases is taking action. So the best way to, I guess, get a result is to not think about the action that you're trying to take. Overthinking something that you want to do, you're most likely not going to end up doing it. If I was overthinking this video right now, I would have probably not filmed it. Actually, this could apply to any aspects of your life. But yeah, let's say I'm overthinking what I want for dinner. I don't know, am I gonna eat soup? Am I gonna eat salad? Then I'm like, okay, if I eat soup, I'm not gonna have enough calorie intake for the night. But if I eat salad, I'm gonna become skinny, for example. And you keep overthinking. Worst case scenario, either way is you're wasting time by thinking about it a lot. Just pick one, dude. I also heard about this thing that a lot of smart people make this mistake of overthinking. A lot of them don't end up being successful because they think a lot about what they want to do. A lot of smart people are good at a lot of things and they want to do a lot of things at the same time. And because of overthinking all of these things, they never end up making a decision. On the other hand, if they made one decision and went with it, they would have been much more successful. The most important thing here is taking baby steps and taking action. By baby steps, I mean just starting. Just start, dude. If you just start, that's already solving like 99% of the problem. That's why a lot of people who want to go to the gym, once they start going, it's so much easier for them. So actually the hardest part of starting anything or achieving anything is just starting. This also applies, for example, I'm gonna bring into context like tech and the startup scene. I'm sure a lot of tech people have ideas, but a lot of them overthink it. Like, what if this doesn't succeed? Like, yeah, sure, you should do your market research. You should see if this is actually a pretty viable product. But if you keep thinking about it a lot, if you're insecure, oh, I don't know if investors would like this thing, I don't know if I'm good enough, I don't know if I can make revenue or convince customers, then you're not going to end up doing anything. But if you just started and progressively made baby steps and got customer feedback and saw what these people like, what they don't like, and progressively improve the product, you're going to achieve the goal one way or the other. Or at least you have tried. It's better than dying with the guilt of never trying. There's also another concept I have been living with. It is everything is an equation. To every action, there is a result. So it also is similar to the butterfly effect. To anything you do, there's going to be a consequence or a result. Thus, if you kind of reverse engineer it and start from the result, see what you need, put it into an equation and progressively do it, you're going to definitely reach the result. This actually applies to a lot of things. I have applied this concept. It helped me achieve my goal, which was to land a job in big tech at Microsoft. I actually really wanted to land a big tech job and improve my career in CS, so I did, using this concept of everything is an equation. So actually, when I just graduated high school, I put an equation, believe it or not, it worked, put an equation of what would I need to, for example, get an internship. And I watched a lot of videos, collected a lot of data, put everything in a OneNote. Then I combined all of this information. I did all of it and I got the results. Progressively seeing what would I need to do for the first quarter of semester. For example, what would I need to do for the second semester? What technologies do I need to learn? What work experience do I need as a freshman in college? Do I need to join a club? Do I need to start doing research? Do I need to network? And also, what type of classes do I need? All of this. So if you combine all of these things together, you're going to reach a specific result. One thing that there's a misconception about manifestation. A lot of people think that if you manifest things, they're gonna come to you from the sky. This is total bullshit. Manifestation is not real. Planning is real. Visualizing is real. Manifesting something and not taking any steps towards it is not real, because I don't know how all of these influencers get away with lying to people about getting their lifestyle, improving their lives, and just by writing things down on a notebook or just by playing a video that says, I am rich, I am happy, I'm gonna get money, I have a loving family, whatever, you're not going to get that. The way you're going to get that is by you getting your ass up and starting execution. I never believed in manifestation, even in desperate times. I always believed in taking action and baby steps, which actually led me to a result. Believing in manifestation is like wanting a solution to a problem that doesn't exist. So basically, anything that's illogical, just get away from it because it might ruin your life. You're dependent on something that's metaphysical, something that doesn't even exist, something that's not concrete. What's concrete is the action that you do, the action items, a plan that you have. That's what's concrete, and that's what's going to lead you to your results. Now, let me tell you why successful people are better than you. They're better with execution and hard work. If you're lazy, you're not gonna get anywhere. Let me tell you that, I'm sorry. Successful people are better than you because they're good at taking action. They're good at executing. Wanna know why 1% of companies fail? 1 in 100 companies usually fail. Only 0.01% would become a unicorn. It's not because of the idea. Let me think of an example of a stupid idea that actually with persistency and execution succeeded. For example, Touchland, which is the hand spray, the sanitizer spray. There's nothing different about it. Actually, it was crowdfunded by a bunch of people. And there's no technology that's extraordinary. Actually, I'm pretty sure the product is imported from China, made in China, and then you just slap the name on it, Touchland, and it's being sold to like millions of people, and now it's super successful. There's nothing special about it, but what's special about it is the execution, how the person went about the plan, how the person was persistent and never gave up. If you took a bottle of water, added some specific formula to it and slapped a name on it, and then tried to sell it for at least 2 years, you probably will be able to sell it. Because every day, if you're noting every day what to improve, what you did, and what you could do better, you would eventually succeed. So here is the formula, or how I exactly go about my plans. The first thing that you need to do is determine a goal. This meaning, what do you want? The question is, what do I want to achieve? Who do I want to become? That's number one. Number two is visualize it. I'm not saying manifest it. Visualization is basically thinking about you after achieving the goal. So you could just close your eyes and kind of imagine yourself in that situation, and you kind of feel the feeling at that moment, and that's going to be the fuel that's going to push you for this whole process. That's going to be the motivation that fuels you. It's that feeling, the feeling that you're going to get while you're visualizing it. The third thing that you need to do is break it down. So break down what it would take you to get there. Let's say I want to start a company. I'm going to, first of all, do my research from any outlets I would find possible. I would look on the internet, Reddit, YouTube. What would it take me to be successful? Reach out to people, whatever it takes. Then break down to what it would take you to get there. Literally write it down on a notebook. Or last but not least, integrate it to your routine. Try to fit it in your schedule. Like literally write it down in your schedule. First of all, determine how many times, how often do you need to execute this plan in a week to get to the results. Most likely you're gonna need to do it like every day or every other day. So literally integrate it to your routine, and in no time you're going to achieve the results. Most of the time, actually, you end up achieving more than you expect, or more than the result that you would like. But that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you in the next one.